Medical terminology. Although you may be just getting started with your EMT course, you have probably already seen some sizable words and heard a few more from your instructors. You will encounter more as you begin the patient assessment and care sections of this text. Some say medicine has a language of its own. As with any language, understanding some of the basics will make it easier to understand and use this special language correctly in communicating with other medical professionals. The components of medical terms. Medical terms are composed of words, and medical words may be composed of roots, prefixes, and/or suffixes, each with its own definition. We'll see an example on the next table on the next page. Some medical words are compounds made up of two or more whole words. For example, the word small is joined with the word pox to form the medical term smallpox, the name of a disease. Roots are the foundations of words and are not usually used by themselves. Therm is a root that means heat. Used alone, it would make no sense, but when a vowel is added to the end of the root, in this case the added vowel is O, it becomes a combining form, thermo, which can be joined with other words, roots, or suffixes. For example, thermo and meter combine to form thermometer, which is an instrument for measuring heat or temperature. So the key concepts here are compounds, which are a word formed from two or more whole words. Then the concept of a root, which is a foundation of a word that is not a word that can stand on its own. Then there's a combining form, a word root with an added vowel that can be joined with other words, roots, or suffixes to form a new word. All right, we're going to go on to page 101, and we'll come back to the table. Some medical terms combine more than one root or combining form. Electrocardiogram is a good example. The combining forms electro, which means electric, and cardio, which means heart, are joined to gram, which means a written record, to form the term. An electrocardiogram is a written record of the heart's electrical activity. Prefixes. Prefixes are added to the beginnings of roots or words to modify or qualify their meaning. They usually tell the reader what kind of, where, in what direction, or how many. The root pnea, for example, relates to breathing, but says nothing about the quality or kind of breathing. But by adding the prefix dis at the beginning, which means painful or difficult, it makes dyspnea, or difficult breathing. On the other hand, the prefix tachy, which is spelled T-A-C-H-Y, which means rapid or fast, when combined with pnea, creates tachypnea, or rapid breathing. Abdominal pain, for example, is a broad term. Adding the prefix intra, which means within or inside, narrows the meaning, so that intra-abdominal pain is pain within the abdomen. Plegia refers to paralysis of the limbs. When you add the prefix quadri, or four, it tells the reader how many limbs are paralyzed. So quadriplegia is a paralysis of all four limbs. Suffixes. Suffixes are word parts added to the end of roots or words to complete their meaning. A number of suffixes have specialized meanings. The suffix itis means inflammation, and the root arthur refers to a joint. Thus, arthritis is inflammation of a joint. The suffix iac forms a noun indicating a person afflicted with a certain disease. For example, hemophiliac, a patient suffering from the bleeding disorder called hemophilia. Some suffixes, those end parts, are joined to roots to form terms that indicate a state, quality, condition, procedure, or process. Pneumonia and psoriasis, where ia and asis are the suffixes, are examples of medical conditions, whereas appendectomy and arthroscopy, with the suffixes y, are examples of medical procedures. Some suffixes combine with roots to form adjectives, words that modify nouns by indicating quality or quantity, or by distinguishing one thing from another. For example, gastric, where the suffix is ic, ic, cardiac, where the suffix is ac, fibrous, where the suffix is ous, arthritic, where the suffix is itic, and diaphoretic, where the suffix is ic, are all examples of adjectives formed by adding suffixes, which were underlined in the text, to roots. Some suffixes are added to roots to express reduction in size, such as eole, I-O-L-E, and ule, U-L-E. An arteriole is smaller than an artery. A venule is smaller than a vein. When added to roots, the letter E and the letters I-Z-E form verbs, such as in exercise, which has an E at the end, and catheterize, which has I-Z-E at the end. They are examples. Given the definitions of the words root and suffixes, a cardiologist is one who specializes in the study of the heart, as shown in this table. This text will help you understand medical terminology by providing definitions in the margins and in a glossary.